Welcome everybody to Lakers Live pregame show presented by the Ultimate Sports Show. I'm here as well with the crew. We got Manny, Medina.
I'm here.
Yeah, she is here. Just dealing with some technical issues with her camera. She is here.
There she is.
Lakers playing the Jazz tonight. We get round 2. We get double action here. Obviously, how was your guys' day? Start off with that. I mean, my day was good. I had a good day. How about you guys? How was your day?
What's up, everybody? Today was great. As always, Mondays I'm off, so I got to relax after a long weekend of work, long Friday of work, and now we're ready for round 2 against the Jazz. Let's go, Lakers.
It's a good day. Can't complain. Ready for my Lakers. Ready to eat soon and watch my Lakers and hopefully watch them beat the Jazz again tonight. I'm excited.
Same.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's talk. I mean, obviously, we didn't have a post-game show. Just didn't work out. But obviously, let's get into this. Lakers played okay. You know, they towards the end of the game, it was a good game. I mean, technically overall, if I had to grade the Lakers' performance, I would say, you know, I'd give them a B plus. I wouldn't give them an A.
Yeah.
It's not an A plus worthy game because, you know, Manny, they could have been better on the defensive end. I think we were up by 12, 15 points at one point to the Jazz. And, I mean, most people thought there's no way the Lakers are beating the Jazz. Obviously, what's been going on and having our main guys injured. We turned this around. I mean, we almost lost this game, too. I mean, you know, they couldn't stop hitting threes. Our defense just wasn't sharp completely in the fourth quarter. We turned it around. We won. But I think the Lakers overall, they're not happy with how they won that game. They know they got very lucky, too.
Yeah, you absolutely hit it on right, Aaron, on that one because we let another random guy get a career high on us in Ersan Ilyasova. And I'm not dissing his game. I'm not saying he's like a scrub or anything, but really, Lakers, you made him get 6 threes on us. Like, come on. I don't know what was going on over there. Shout out to Jordan Clarkson, though. He had a great game. Former Laker young core player. Joe Ingles, you know, he shoots threes. He had a great game. And honestly, I got to give props to the Jazz and credit where it deserves. Without Gobert and without Mitchell, they actually held their own. But I agree with you, Aaron, what you said about the grade. Like, I say B or B plus because I feel like we could have been better on defense. Like, I just think we have better defenders on this team than the Jazz. The Jazz are more known for their scoring. We're known more for our defensive minded game. I don't like the way Kuzma has been playing lately. I think he's been shooting the ball way too much, and he's been, if I'm not mistaken, because I wasn't able to catch the entire game because I had work. But for the bits and pieces that I saw, I just feel like he shoots way too many air balls. I feel like he should work on his shot more on practice. But he still had an okay game, like stat wise, where he had 13 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Like, he was literally like 4 rebounds and 4 assists away of a triple-double. So I can't really complain about that. But really, Aaron's guy, Andre Drummond, he balled out. This was like his first game with the Lakers that I saw like Detroit Andre Drummond. He had 27 and 8. I know he didn't have double-digit rebounds, but you can't really do that every night if you're like the starting center of the Lakers. Like, I know there's a lot held on your shoulders from everybody, but like 8 rebounds is still good. He had 27 points. He even had a block. He even had 2 steals as a big man to get 2 steals. That's freaking amazing in my opinion. But the real guy I want to talk about, Dennis Schroeder. Man, has he been onto something the past few games. And I am very, very happy about Dennis Schroeder. Yes, I know the game against Boston, he didn't play exactly that great, but apart from the Utah game where he actually hit a very clutch shot in the last seconds to force OT and then we won it. Apart from the Boston game against Charlotte, New York, and Brooklyn, he had 19 points, 21 points, and 19 points. I feel like he's really embracing his role and he feels more comfortable in his role. But either way, we had a great come from behind win. I just feel like the defense could have been better. Medina, what are your thoughts about last game?
You know, guys, I'm gonna go with a B plus just because they were playing poor defense. But I kind of went into
Mm,
this game with low expectations because we were playing number one seed. I know they're missing some of their starters and we're missing some of ours, but I still kind of thought that this would be like a close game. I not that I don't have faith in my Lakers. You guys know I always do, but I really thought the Jazz were gonna beat us by at least a few points, like 10 points at least, because they're a great 3-point shooting team, and the fact that the Lakers were able to keep up with them throughout the whole game, and we actually managed to get such a big lead on them at 1.2. I thought that was pretty impressive. So I mean, I think we played pretty well. I mean, honestly, the only thing I can criticize is the defense and unnecessary 3-point shooting. I think it was like in the fourth quarter, I believe, once we started losing that lead, we started taking all these unnecessary threes. And I just remember yelling at my TV saying, why do you guys keep doing this? Just drive the
mm-hmm.
ball in. And that's where I want to thank Dennis Schroeder. I know it's so tempting to want to take a 3-pointer, so you're up by 1 point and you don't have to go into overtime. But I mean, chances are with the Lakers 3-point shooting, we probably would have missed that shot and we would have lost the game. So I'm actually really happy he took the ball in because that's his specialty. He drives it in and he made it, and then we won in overtime. So I was really happy with their performance. Like I said, there are things that could have been better. There could have been, but I'm actually very it's kind of surprised that we were able to keep up with them all game, and then we had the lead on them and we won the game. And I'm kind of hoping, we play with that same energy tonight. But also, I mean, I want to also say shout out to Drummond and Schroeder and KCP. I mean, KCP and Schroeder both had 25 points. Drummond had 27 points. I mean, we played a hell of a game. It wasn't easy. I mean, again, like I said, we are going up against the number one seed, guys, and we're missing our starters. And I know it's the same old story, but I'm kind of happy with how we played overall. B plus. Okay.
Yeah, I won't. I mean, I will. I would have given him. I would have given him an A. No, don't get me wrong. I would have at least given him an A if our defense would have held up more in the fourth quarter. We just, you just gotta. We've all heard me say this before. It's a 48-minute game. You can't play 30 minutes of it and slack off. The other few minutes of the game. You have to go all the way to the end. Like if you're gonna miss a play, if you're gonna miss a play here and there, that's fine. But you got to commit to it. You have to commit to it. Lakers are very lucky too because obviously, let's talk about the turnovers. Obviously, turnovers have been a big problem as well with the Lakers. Honestly, they weren't. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it was actually going to be a lot worse. But I mean, they had a total of 15 turnovers in the game. That's still not acceptable. I'm still not happy with that. I would prefer a game where they're maybe 10 at the most. But I mean, the ball movement, and obviously this goes on Dennis Schroeder as well because we know Schroeder has his moments. He gets careless with the ball. He's great on the offensive end. He could score. He can pass. You just got to make the right passes here. You got to look. I feel like sometimes the Lakers try and rush things too much, or they're trying to rush that fast break, and they have that 2-on-1 approach, and then all of a sudden Kuzma or someone gets lazy with their pass. You just got to give it the extra second, give it the extra time, or just dunk the ball. If you have an open lane, dunk the ball. We can obviously get into THT. I think he's still got a little bit to learn when it comes to dunking. He's getting there. He's had his little moments here and there, but I mean, in general, you want to see this team be a little bit more, protective of the ball because those kind of things hurts. Obviously, it didn't hurt so much against Utah. They only had 2 fast break points total in the game. We got 9 off of their turnovers. So, I mean, Lakers got lucky, but obviously we dominated in the paint. Drummond, I mean, we can't say enough about him. I mean, he's played. I wanted him. I was hoping, I'm like, you get the points, but I want to see the rebounds. I'm sorry. If you got to be, I want him to just be hungrier for the ball. So if you're going to get the ball, you got to crash the boards, get in there, get another lead, 20, go for another 27 and 10 and go for it. You just you got to have that edge on you. I feel like I feel like he got there. He got to the point. Now it's all about being consistent and holding it off because obviously, as Drummond said on his social media handles, it's a loading screen with the two other pieces of this team, which is LeBron and AD. When they come back, obviously it's going to change the perception and the momentum again. But I feel like Drummond just needs to be a little bit more active on the boards.
No, absolutely, I agree with you. I wanted to see Drummond get at least like 10 or 11 or 12 rebounds, but I agree with what you said, Aaron, about the fact that with the whole thing with LeBron, AD, and Drummond, when that all comes in, that's when it's going to be scary for the league, and I'll explain why. The reason why I say that is because that's when chemistry is going to happen, because we just need all our guys back to be able to work together in the locker room. They'll be able to communicate. They'll be able to communicate on practice, and then on game days, that's how it will all plan out great. The problem is the reason why there were certain teams last year that didn't really gel great is because they like to load manage, but us, we don't load manage at all. That's the reason why we glue so well together. And when LeBron and AD come back, because you see sometimes when we watch when there's games on our TV screens, LeBron and AD are usually laughing, they're smiling, they're communicating with each other, they're communicating with people on the bench. I believe even LeBron and AD are getting like the younger guys, like I wouldn't say he's really that young anymore, Kuzma, but THT is very young, and I like what you said about THT before, because I feel like he will get there because the G League helped him last year, and this year he hasn't really played any G League because obviously South Bay hasn't been playing this year because they opted out of the G League bubble, but even if they didn't opt out, I guarantee you THT would not be there because I feel like he's matured. He had the G League time last year, and the year before that, when he was drafted in the July Summer League of 2019, he was able to gel with guys like Kaycock. He was able to gel with guys like Kostas. So it really helped him out. So I feel like now that we have all our guys there, and once they come back, we're going to be great again. And by the way, shout out to my guy Chris. He's watching the show. And we're glad to have you.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Chris, what you're saying, absolutely true right there. And back to what Manny was saying. I really believe that's why we won the championship last year. Our team chemistry, like compared to everyone else's in the NBA, I feel like our players are all so close. I feel like there's a good friendship, a bond in our team, and we're not taking like load managements. Like our guys, they want to go out there, they want to play, they want to be involved. I mean, not to like name anyone out of like anything, but I'm gonna give the Clippers as an example. I feel like that's why they choked in the playoffs last year. They have a bunch of their guys always load managing. I feel like they have the team, but there's no chemistry in that team. And
yes.
off the court, you don't see their players like communicating the way LeBron and AD do. Like LeBron and AD haven't played basketball in the longest time, but they're still sitting there having a good time. And they bring that same energy back out onto the court. So I feel like that's where our strength is in our Laker team. Like we just really know how to connect with each other. And that's why our basketball is just so great. And that's why we have the greatest players on our team. So with that being said, also to tie it back into today's game, also like, I know like we really I feel like I always say this, but I'm going to say this again, but like LeBron and AD have been out for a while now, but I feel like this has given our bench players a chance to really like learn how to play without our big guys there. And I feel like that was a big necessity for us. So I'm kind of glad. I'm not glad that anyone got injured, don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of glad things are going the way they are because I feel like we have the strength in our bench players now. And with LeBron and AD coming back and then all the, A Drummond and AD and LeBron starting, we're going to be an insane team. Like it's pretty much over for everyone once we get our big guys back. And then we have this incredible bench team that knows how to play with each other now. And it's going to be something to watch. And also, I heard that AD, I think Manny already mentioned this, I'm not sure, but AD might be coming back hopefully Thursday or by Saturday's game. So there's something to be excited about.
Yes. Absolutely. And we could talk about AD as well. Obviously, he's been ramping up his He's been ramping up himself. He's been getting himself ready to go. There was also a picture. I don't know if anybody has seen it yet. Is LeBron was on the court as well, working on his shooting and getting him some shots up. That's very encouraging to see. Obviously, we know LeBron is right around the corner as well. But obviously, with LeBron and AD, you don't want to push it. I was saying it from the beginning when he would come back. As soon as he got cleared to resume activities, I kind of thought immediately, if I'm AD, I'm targeting Dallas as my return. I'm not worried about Utah. I don't care about Utah because there's a very good chance we're going to see them again. Just worry about getting yourself 100% and having that extra time off that he didn't have. I mean, look, him and LeBron basically are getting that extra rest they didn't have before, and that's rest that they missed out on. So, I'm glad to see. Obviously, it's going to be an exciting show. We are going to be there. We're going to be covering the game. You don't want to miss that. But I mean, he's just going to add so much more energy to this team. And obviously, people can start looking at some of these games that the Lakers are going to play. So don't get me wrong. Our schedule, we know it too. Our second half schedule is the hardest one in the entire league. I mean, our second hardest in the entire league. There's nothing easy about this schedule.
Fourth hardest.
Fourth hardest. So thank you, Manny. And you know what? I think with AD coming back, I feel like, it's a perfect timing because the regular season's looming towards the end. LeBron's going to be coming back as well. Let them get their legs ready to go. And then as soon as their minutes are increased and they're allowed to play more, it's game on in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And I even predicted it last week that AD should return to the Dallas game because I feel like even though I would love to see AD play Gobert on Monday, but it's all good because he gets to play Kristaps. And I don't know if he's healthy or not because he's been dealing with a lot of injuries, but I feel like it will be good. And Chris, to your question here, do you think it would matter if we're healthy? I don't think it matters at all, just because when we're healthy, it's going to seem like we're a top 3 seed because we're going to have all our guys back. Remember last year, we were the 1 seed, and and there was a lot of criticism saying they're facing the best 8 seed in NBA history and the Portland Trailblazers, and we took care of them in 5 games. So I don't really care what seed we are as long as we make the playoffs. Personally, I doubt that we're going to be in the play-in tournament, so that's good. So personally, I believe that we're going to be fine. And the Dallas game, that's his target, and I agree because it's going to be big, and not only because of guys like Kristaps Porzingis that he's going to be, because they're both 7-footers, but also because they have some good shooting big men. Like for example, Maxi Kleber, he can shoot, even though he's big and he's a little slow on the court. He can still shoot the ball, so that's a guy we're going to have to watch out once we play Dallas on Thursday and Saturday. But tonight, we just have to worry about Gobert, and we're going to have all our tall guys beyond him. I know Montrezl Harrell is a little undersized, but he's going to try to do his part to guard him. But Andre Drummond's going to be there. Marcus Gasol is going to be there to guard him. So I'm not really worried about this game, whether we win or whether we lose. I still think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be actually a 5 to 10 point game, even with Gobert, because I feel like our defense, I know Gobert is considered as one of, if not the best defender in all of basketball. But I think we could actually hold our own because we are the number 2 ranked defense in basketball. So it shouldn't be a hard game. I don't know what's going to happen because I'm not part of the Lakers. So I'm just hoping we win. I don't know if it'll happen, but we'll see what happens. Medina, what are your thoughts about that?
I actually agree with you there, Manny. I feel like we're going to win by at least 5 to 10 points. Hopefully we don't have to go into overtime to win that game again. But also I wanted to talk about Harrell for a second. I feel like he was kind of off these last few games before the Jazz game. Yeah, he wasn't really playing like his usual self. But I mean, I was very impressed by the way he came back on Saturday. I mean, he only had 12 points, but he had 7 rebounds, and I feel like he was playing very aggressive, and he got some pretty gnarly dunks in there. And I was just really happy to see him back to his usual self, and hopefully we see that Harrell again tonight. I mean, I hope everyone comes out playing strong tonight. I hope Kuzma gets in, a few more shots, and if he can't then at least play great defense. I mean, I love Kuzma. I'm just kind of tired of his inconsistency. So I really hope, we see him stepping it up soon because we have to get him ready for the playoffs. I mean, he cannot just have one good game and then one terrible game and then one good game again. I mean, that goes for all of our players, to be honest. But
Absolutely.
but I have a feeling we'll win tonight. I think there's a lot to learn from that last game regarding our defense. So hopefully the Lakers are able to learn from that, and our defense is stronger, less turnovers. Just keep up with the game. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that Jazz game on Saturday, that was one of the best games I've seen in a while. It had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. It was so good to watch. So at the same time, I hate games like that because it gives me so much anxiety because we're so close to losing or winning. But I mean, I don't mind games like that every once in a while. So I mean, it's all fun and games. So I mean, as long as we play the way we did on Saturday with better defense, I'm okay. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. Obviously mentioned Matthew here. Obviously, that'll be a great game. Matthew, you're not wrong at all. May 6th, Clippers, Lakers. Could be completely different as well. I mean, obviously, it should look a little different. I'm not saying LeBron's probably going to play, but I mean, it'll still look different, and obviously there is potential that the Lakers and the Clippers could meet in the playoffs. We will see how that goes. Chris, by the way, to answer your question, I don't think I got to agree with Manny, Medina. I got to agree with you guys as well. I mean, it doesn't really matter where we finish at all. I mean, look, there's teams that have finished, 5th seed, 6th seed. You know what? As long as you make the playoffs, anything can happen. When you make the playoffs, as soon as game 1 starts, everybody's 0-0. It does not matter where you were in the seeding. You start over. Everybody you play, you have to win. It's a best of 7 series or best of 5 series and then best of 7. So anything can happen in the playoffs. Doesn't matter where we go. But obviously, and obviously Kuzma being the X factor. Kuzma is an X factor with this team. And you know what? He's been, guys, I mean, we could sit here and talk. We could even talk about, literally, we could talk about Kuzma. I mean, Manny, like, you guys have seen it before. He's inconsistent. He has his great games where he just doesn't miss. And then, like, there's just games that he's literally taking air balls. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like,
exactly.
Why are you resorting to threes? He's just got to find that happy medium, and I feel like he's still getting the hang of that. I think a lot of what's going on is he's trying to put the weight on his shoulders a little bit instead of saying, look, like, I have a team to carry me around. I don't need to do this by myself. Do other things besides worry about scoring. What do you guys think?
No, you hit it spot on. I agree 100% what you said, Aaron, because like I said before, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but with the air ball thing, like I feel like on Saturday when I was watching a bit of the game, he was airballing a lot of shots. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what's been going on with Kuz. I mean, I'll admit it, guys. I'm glad it's happening right now during regular season time because this is time to make mistakes. But playoff time is not when I wanted to see it happen. Kuzma, if you're listening, which you're probably not, when it's practice time before playoffs, I need you to be in the gym hitting threes because I don't want to see this inconsistency from you, bro. I really, really don't. Because I'll admit I wasn't the biggest fan of Kuz last year in the bubble because he was shooting a little inconsistent. But thank God we had guys like KCP and Keith and Rondo that held their own to when LeBron and AD weren't doing all the facilitating and all the shooting. But these playoffs, we don't have Rondo, so we're gonna have to need those other guys to step up. Like, I mean, I'm not worried about KCP and Keith because they did what they had to do in the playoffs. But this year in the playoffs, I want to see Kuz really take that extra leap because I mentioned this in the show I was hosting with Medina like 3 weeks ago. Is that they kept Kuzma off that trade from AD, so he has to have that mentality that like they kept me off that trade. I need to be that third guy that needs to step up when LeBron and AD aren't doing all the heavy lifting because there's going to be games, unfortunately, Carnation, that LeBron and AD aren't on their game because there's some nights where it happens that some players go on cold streaks, and when that happens, I want to see Kuz really take that extra leap. And Kuz, another thing I want to mention about Kuz, if he's having those bad shooting nights, do other things. Rebound the ball, pass the ball, drive to the lane. You don't have to just keep like sniping threes from the corners and from the top of the key. Like, you got to try other stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Manny, you were pretty spot on about all of that. I feel like Kuzma definitely needs to step it up before we get to the playoffs. I mean, we can't have him playing the way he was last year in the bubble. I mean, when it comes to Kuzma playing season games, he has his great moments. Like, he has his high scoring games, but they're just, and then the very next game, like, I don't know what happens to him. He just kind of loses that touch. And like you were saying, Manny, if you're seeing that you're not making your shots, that doesn't mean keep shooting threes after threes, because eventually you're gonna start airballing the ball, or you're gonna lose that hot streak, and you gotta find a way to come back from that, either by stealing or rebounding or assisting. You gotta find a way to help the team out if you can't make your shots go in. And like Manny was saying, you were pretty spot on about everything. I'm not worried about KCP. I'm not worried about Morris. I'm not worried about any of the other players, because they showed up last year in the playoffs. They showed what they're capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like you said, we need Kuzma to be our third guy. Like, he has to be our third guy. Everyone believes in him to be our third guy when LeBron and AD are out. And honestly, like, I've seen it some games. I've seen that potential before. But for the most part, I don't really trust him yet to be our third guy in the playoffs. So I really hope in these next few weeks that we have left of the season, he's able to step it up. And by the time we get to the playoffs, he's learning from his mistakes, and he's just playing better.
Yeah. Let's get into the keys of the game, guys. How do the Lakers get this done tonight? I mean, the Jazz want to look at the Lakers and say, look, we got away with so much stuff, and the Lakers made us pay for it. How do we come up and get 2 wins against Utah tonight?
Well, my keys to the game are very simple. Play defense, and I'm not just saying that because, NBA teams are known for their high scoring, but, excuse for a second. Okay. Like I was saying, they're known for their not only are they known for their high scoring, but Utah, they can score. They not only do they have guys like Donovan Mitchell and Royce O'Neal and Joe Ingles, but they also have a guy who's going to go in the center position and just dunk on people like nothing. And that guy is Rudy Gobert, and he is a very good finisher in the paint. So we need to tighten up the D, not only on the 3-point line with guys like I mentioned, like Donovan Mitchell and Joe Ingles and Royce O'Neal and Jordan Clarkson, but we have to have our guys in Marc Gasol and Andre Drummond and Montrezl Harrell. They need to tighten up the paint, because Rudy Gobert is going to go to work, and I know this for a fact. So we need to play aggressive D, and that's all I gotta say about my keys to the game. What about you, Medina?
I think the only thing I want to say about keys to the game is, I mean, we saw what happened on Saturday. They kept shooting threes on us, and they kept for the most part, they kept making them in until the fourth quarter came around. We got lucky that they went on a cold streak as well. But guard that 3-point line. I feel like that was like where we lost our lead on Saturdays, when we let our guard down. We didn't play any good defense, and they kept shooting threes, and they kept making those threes. So I'd say just guard the 3-point line for sure.
Yeah. I got to go with I want to see this team attack the paint and crash the boards. I'm talking all inside, make it happen on the offensive side as well as the defensive side. Make it difficult, obviously, as well, Medina, as you were saying, like, defend the 3 as well, but go in there and crash the boards. I mean, Montrezl Harrell and Drummond should have like 10 plus rebounds in the game, and if we're really calling it, I think they could possibly get it before the second half as well. If they really want to be aggressive, that's my way of getting it, and we're going to go right into the players to watch. So, Manny, who's your guy tonight?
I'm going to go with the savior of Saturday, and Dennis the Menace Schroeder. He really impressed me a lot, and he's been impressing me a lot, like 4 out of the past 5 games that we played. He's been scoring, he's been passing, he's been rebounding, he's been stealing, he's been blocking, he's been doing it all. And he's been our he's been, I wouldn't say our best, but definitely one of our bright spots without LeBron and AD. So I got Dennis the Menace Schroeder. I think he's gonna go with 22 points. And you want to hear this, guys? I think I'm gonna have him getting 11 assists. I feel like he's gonna facilitate the ball great tonight. And he's also gonna get at least 4 or 5 boards because, like Aaron mentioned, it should not be that hard to out rebound this team. I know they have Rudy Gobert, but who else is like very, very tall on that team that could rebound besides Rudy Gobert? Not really anybody. So I feel like we should out rebound them easily. Medina, what is your player to watch?
I'm going to go with KCP tonight just because I love the way he played on Saturday. He came through, 25 points. I feel like he's going to get another 25 points tonight. I want to say 7 rebounds, maybe 6, 7 rebounds. I have hope. He had a really great game, and he was on a hot streak. So I always say this, guys, but I really hope that these players that like always have like a great game, one game, they bring that same energy into that next game. Because if they do, we have a shot at winning tonight. What about you, Aaron?
I gotta go with my guy, and I'm not talking about Marcus Gasol. I gotta go with the other big fella here. I know, Andre Drummond here. Let's go. Have a game. Terrific game in the last game against Utah. I want to see you got 27. Now give me 30. Give me 30 plus, and I want to see 30 and 15. 30, 15, and 4 blocks at least. Get the defense, attack the paint, and crash the boards, man. Like, you need to go in there, be like a physical Shaq, and just get in there, box out, grab the rebounds, get after the paint, because he could easily take down Gobert, like, without a question. I mean, he's got the advantage. I mean, hey, Chris, if he wants to get 40 and 20, I ain't gonna complain because, I mean, I think AD's gotten that before, right, guys? Like, I think he had one game, yeah, where he had 40 and 20. Also, got to give a shout out to Chris as well. He gave his keys to the game as well. His was team ball, team rebounding, patient in the half court. Absolutely, couldn't say it any better. Thank you again for everybody that's been tuning in the comments. That's going to do it for Lakers Live pregame show presented by the Ultimate Sports Show. If you're not following our page now, make sure you're following the Ultimate Sports Show. Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. You can find us anywhere. We are out there. We don't only cover basketball. We cover baseball, football, hockey, and Euro 2020 or Euro 2021. So enjoy that. That's going to do it for us tonight. Be sure to tune in to the post-game show tonight. Same crew. We will catch you guys later on. Enjoy the game, everybody.
Peace.
Go Lakers.